Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of UnrealEntGaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Well, this was certainly an unexpected but yet very surprising turn of events, especially since this was what the Omni Kings had originally intended to have happen. But now that the other gods are made well aware of what the Omni Kings had decided to go and do, I wonder on how this will affect their standing with these new destroyers and what the implications are now that the Omni Kings have decided to make their presence known by doing what they just did.
As our story now continues back on Beerus' planet, with the Grand Priest shown moments away from making his grand announcement to all those who were present, as with all of the remaining gods of destruction now beginning to assemble as each and every single angel was shown bowing, was when the Grand Priest went on to respond, "Today marks a momentous occasion in the annals of our cosmic history, for the Omni Kings, in a decision that reflects their extraordinary vision, have enacted a change that will redefine the very fabric of our multiverse as we know it. And as I relay this news to you, my heart swells with excitement and anticipation, for I know that the implications of this will echo in the corridors of every corner of the universe," the Grand Priest continues. "And very soon I will extend this grand announcement to our remaining gods of destruction and angels, but it is you, our distinguished guest here in Universe 7, who will be the first to hear it. So welcome all, both angels, destroyers, and our wonderful mortal guests over there, for I now require your full and undivided attention, please," to which, as Reno was then shown having to walk past Gardox, was when the God of Destruction Gardox went on to respond, "So do you feel more accomplished now that you were able to go about your business and defeat Lord Champa in battle, Reno? Because I sure do hope that you know that this changes nothing between us," Gardox continues. "Because if you were still to assume that you are truly the mightiest God of Destruction among the rest of us just because you were able to take down that loudmouth, then I want to assure you that you, my dear old friend, are sadly mistaken and extremely delusional," with Reno responding, "Do not go and overstep your boundaries here, Gardox, because I'll have no problem doing unto you just as I was shown doing unto him. And for the last time, that's Beerus, you ridiculous little troll, not Champa." In which moments later, as all of the other gods of destruction were then shown having to bow their heads, was when the Grand Priest went on to chime back in, "Excellent, well alright then, and now that everyone has gathered together, it's time for the message to be delivered. And although I understand that what I'm about to tell you all will come at a sudden and surprising shock to you all, but just know that none of the following information that will be conveyed is without cause or reason." In which, in the meantime, when then going back on over to Beerus and seeing as to how Beerus was finally able to move and attempting to now be shown standing back up, was when Beerus then went on to say to himself, "Oh, how utterly embarrassing. How could I have allowed for something like this to even happen? And to think that I, of all destroyers, would find myself bested in battle by Reno, as it feels so inconceivable, for I always believed that my unrivaled strength and my ability to stand toe-to-toe with any challenger would go unmatched, and yet here I am. Oh, but this isn't the end, for this will be my ultimate opportunity, an opportunity to reassess and strengthen my resolve and rise again. stronger and more determined than ever. Mark my words, Reno. As Goku then went on to address the Grand Priest by then having to respond, hey, wait, so if this big announcement that you're getting ready to reveal comes directly by the Omni Kings, then don't you think that they should be here to also be a part of this moment too? With the Grand Priest responding, well, actually, to be fair, Goku, the Omni Kings are far too busy enjoying their brand new Budokai video game to pay much attention to, which is why I am here to make sure that the message goes through just as I had promised them. But nevertheless, as massive as one may assume for the multiverse to be, the Grand Priest continues, it would only now appear as though the multiverse has just gotten bigger, especially with how passionate the Omni Kings are in always trying to find of new ways to uphold their entertainment. And so, with that being said, those who currently exist among the now 18 universes will soon come to find out that they are not alone, for there are more, and if they just so choose, could go about by introducing and bringing forward many, many more. As Whis went on to finally address Beerus by then responding, well, despite the outcome of what was just shown taking place here, my faith in you had never wavered, my lord, for you did the best that you could with the situation that you were placed in. But please, allow me to assist you in your recovery and heal you, Lord Beerus, for I want you to know that you fought valiantly against Lord Reno, and I am here to help you regain your strength, and as I know that this setback is merely just a temporary one, with Beerus having to respond, don't, Whis, though I appreciate your offer, this is a burden that I must bear alone. For it wasn't Reno who had defeated me, but rather I had defeated myself, Beerus continues, as it's clear to me on what I have to do, for I will face Reno again, mark my words. He'll see, they will all see, that much I can promise. As the Grand Priest then went on to continue, now to further clarify, the Omni Kings, after careful consideration, have decided to address the imbalance that was caused by the resurrection of the 6 previously destroyed universes. And because they had been made aware, they have deemed it to be fit to bring into existence 2 more universes in order to keep things even, as they figured that 20 would be fair. As this decision itself was not taken lightly, for the creation of a universe is a sacred and monumental act in reflecting the profound will of the Omni Kings to maintain order and symmetry within the multiverse, the Grand Priest continues. For these new universes will not only restore symmetry, but will also bring forth new life, new possibilities, and new experiences to our ever-expanding tapestry of existence, which also happens to include 2 new gods of destruction along with 2 new angel attendees as well. And although recently created, these destroyers are not without great wisdom and unimaginable power, so do bear that in mind. My sincere apologies for not being able to greet you any sooner upon your arrival onto my planet, your majesty, Beerus went on to bow by uttering, for I was simply caught up within the moments before being able to get to you, with the Grand Priest responding, there you are, Lord Beerus, apology accepted, but I do hope that you are able to clean yourself up in any case. But to go back to what I was saying, there are many worlds and many timelines which many of you may not even think were to exist, some of which that may happen to contain destroyers who have been corrupted, while others which may even house mortals who were able to reach angel levels of power, along with mastering the power of a god of destruction themselves. That, fellow gods, is the beauty of life. But here in this timeline, I will hereby go and open the first seal by introducing you all to the first of the 2 new gods of destruction, beginning with Universe 19, which was created and put together by none other than the future Omni King, while the present Omni King went about by putting together and creating Universe 20. And in the grand continuum of existence, where parallel timelines and alternate dimensions offer limitless possibilities, the creation of these 2 new universes is a significant event meticulously orchestrated by none other than the Omni Kings to ensure proper balance within the multiverse. And so, I would like to hereby present the first of these new worlds, beginning with Universe 19, which the future Omni King refers to as the Fearsome One, with Universe 16's God of Destruction Ferrix responding, timelines and worlds which may carry over mortals wielding powers above gods and rivaling that of angels? Interesting. As Gardox went on to chime in, well, I highly doubt for any of that to be true due to mortals being incapable of maintaining such power, but I'm rather more curious about these other new gods now, as the Grand Priest went on to continue. And so without any further delay, I call upon Universe 19's angel attendee Vini and its governing god of destruction Tigron to come forward and introduce yourselves greetings to your fellow gods and mortal guests within Universe 7. Oh, and please do note that this will be the first time outside of myself and the Omni Kings themselves who has seen and greeted these two, the Grand Priest continues, with of course the exception of the angels whom already know of Vini of course, but nevertheless we welcome you. In which upon that very moment as the god of destruction Tigron was from there shown having to step forward was when Goku went on to then respond, whoa, are you able to sense that wild level of power as well, Broly? So this is one of the two new gods of destruction that the future Omni King had decided to go and create? Oh wow, and this guy is just as big and even meaner looking than those other gods too. So this is him, the new god of a new universe, Broly questions? Amazing. To which seconds later within that very moment, as both Universe 19's Angel Vini and Universe 19's God of Destruction Tigron were from there shown having to emerge, was when this had now become the very first time that anyone else outside of the Grand Priest and Omni Kings had seen or met them, as the Grand Priest went on to then continue. And now, fellow guests, I hereby want to introduce you all to Lord Tigron and his Angel Vini. As foreseen and esteemed by the future Omni King, this deity represents and is the embodiment of both fearsomeness and rationality, a rare combination for his actions, while also deemed to be extremely aggressive, are always underlined by a sense of profound deliberation and unwavering acceptance, the Grand Priest continues, and is put together by the future Omni King. Universe 19 ranks among the top 3 in not only having the highest ranking mortal levels among all of the other universes, but is also considered to be a universe that houses the greatest training domain for its existing life forms as well, deeming this as the combat universe. So a supposed destroyer with proper balance, is he? Destroyer Grizzlor went on to then question. And what is that supposed to mean for the rest of us then, huh? For I don't sense anything different about this destroyer, but there may be a deeper and greater level of power that he's more than likely masking beneath the surface. Well, a combat universe, huh? Destroyer Primos went on to chime in. Well, so what? For this god of destruction had never engaged against any of us to truly scale, and so I'm not worried about this one here one bit, for we should all already know as to who the real strongest among the gods truly is, as I highly doubt that it's going to be this one here, as the god of destruction Gardox went on to chime in. So you're a fearsome destroyer god, are you? Well, you don't seem to be scaring anyone here, which only makes me wonder more about what you stand for. Are you really as good as the Grand Minister makes you out to be, or are you simply a trophy with no real substance? I don't know about this one, fellow gods, with Gardox being shown walking on over and kicking Tigron in the leg. Well, if you're so fearsome as they say, then why don't you go and show us as to just how fearsome and all-powerful you really are then? Go on and give us a demonstration of why we should even give you the time of day, Destroyer. Go on, don't pull a Beerus here, big guy. Come on, go and do some. But then, it was just from out of nowhere the moment Tigron went on to lean on down by roaring in Gardox's face was when Tigron then went on to shout, "Touch me again and I will make sure that it'll be the last time that you come in contact with anything ever again, God of Destruction. Now, unless you wish to be destroyed, then get out of my face." Whoa, man, that Universe 19 God of Destruction sure does look like a very mean one, especially with that really loud roar of his, Goku responds, with Whis chiming in, yes, as it doesn't appear like Lord Tigron is willing to put up with any sort of games that the other destroyers might want to play with him. No, which only reminds me of the time when all destroyers were seemingly like this one. Fellow gods of destruction, I am Lord Tigron, ruler of Universe 19, and the latest to join your ranks after proving myself to be worthy of being named a god of destruction. However, do not mistaken me for a mere newcomer, for my capabilities in the art of destruction and combat are unmatched, standing at a level that some of you might aspire to but may never reach. And though I come here without the desire to start trouble, I assure you that if trouble were to find me, then I will leave nothing left of it by the time the day has passed. And so do not mistaken me for an amateur, as the god of destruction Primos went on to then question, question. Oh, look, do you hear that, Grizzlor? Looks like we indeed have some competition now, with Grizzlor responding, yes, maybe we do, Primos, but we'll be the judge of where you stand among us, Lord Tigron, so we'll see. And so now then, fellow guests, for last but certainly not least, I would like to hereby call forward Universe 20's God of Destruction Ligor and his fellow angel attendee Jindro. For the present Omni King had went and designed this world to be a world of peace but also incredible and untold power, in which within that very moment as both Angel Jindro and Universe 20's God of Destruction Ligor were from there shown having to step on through was when Goku then went on to respond, whoa, are you guys able to sense that really strange yet extremely dense energy too? As seconds later with Universe 20's God of Destruction and Angel now shown having to step fully through was when the Grand Priest went on to chime back in, and there they are, for I hereby welcome you all in meeting Lord Ligor and his angel Jindro, for it was as foreseen and esteemed by the present Omni King that this deity represents and is the embodiment of absolute destruction, for this god was forged into being the beacon of what true balance and power stands for, along with being known as a fearsome deity who embodies the rarest form of strength. And with how the present Omni King deems it, Universe 20 ranks as the #1 universe among the other 19, as having the highest mortal level as well as being known as the Enlightened Universe, the Grand Priest continues, for it is a place where many great warriors reside as well as being known as a universe that deals in honor and great absolute within the multiverse. There's something different about this one, just as I had suspected with Lord Tigron, Destroyer Ferrix went on to chime in, for I can sense something far greater that circles within Lord Ligor's very spirit, as I wonder if this has anything to do with how the Omni King had framed this universe as being the enlightened world. And I am fairly certain that I am not the only one who was able to sense this coming from him either, with Goku having to respond, oh wow, well there's something that you don't see every day, just look at those two. And to think that there's a god of destruction who appears to be very kind and respectful, it almost makes me kind of wonder as to what this guy is all about and just how strong he truly is, but then again, I'm sure that there's a reason as to why that is, to which as Tigron and Ligor were then shown having to acknowledge each other was when Universe 19's Destroyer went on to respond, greetings fellow god of destruction, for it is a pleasure to be within your presence once again, Lord Ligor, for it's been quite some time since we've last seen one another, with Ligor responding, the pleasure is mine, fellow god of destruction, for it is always an honor to see and stand with you, and especially before the Most High, as I offer you my appreciation in also being here with us, with Primos having to chime in, what is with these two? How could two rivaling destroyers be so honorable and respectful towards one another in knowing who the other is? It almost makes me want to vomit. Respect should be earned, not given, with Grizzlor having to respond, well perhaps we should go and remind them then of who exactly is in command, and why it's a sign of weakness to give someone your respect and appreciation towards without ever having to earn it. But I do however agree with what Lord Ferrix had mentioned, for there does appear to be something that these two over here are hiding. And to you, the esteemed Grand Priest Ligor continues, I extend my deepest gratitude for this summoning, as it is an honor beyond words to stand before you and my fellow gods of destruction in meeting them all for the very first time. And as this is also a crucial step in my evolution as a destroyer, and your generosity in making this possible is something that I will always hold in high regard, with the Grand Priest responding, and I second this, for I am also very thankful that you would take the time out of your busy day to come and join us, mighty god of destruction. And as for you, esteemed gods of destruction, I am honored to finally meet you all, for I am Lord Ligor, god of destruction of Universe 20. And as the opportunity to meet you all is one that I have long awaited, Ligor continues, for your legendary exploits, your contributions to the cosmic balance, and your unparalleled strength are all very well known to me. Oh really, Primos went on to question, is that so? You stand here speaking of honor and opportunity, Grizzlor went on to chime in, but let me be clear, Destroyer, such sentiments hold little weight among the old guard that stands before you, so do not mistaken our silence for acceptance, for in our ranks your strength and actions will speak louder than your appreciation. That's right, Primos responds, so you may be honored to meet us, but don't expect for that same sentiment to be reciprocated in return, Destroyer. And as a new god of destruction, your time is more than likely limited, as the same could be said for Lord Tigron Tigron too. To which, even despite with all of the hostility, instead of having to engage against them, what Ligor ended up doing was bowing forward before leaving, as Ligor then went on to respond, "Very interesting choice of words, Destroyer, but I did not come here to engage in petty squabbles, but to fully commit my role as a god of destruction with honor and dignity. However, I do want you all to remember that the true measure of a god's power is often hidden beneath a veil of humility, for in time you will see exactly as to why that is that I was chosen in being the last of the mighty gods of destruction. I wouldn't go and start crossing lines here if I were you, god of destruction," Reno went on to then respond, "because before you entertain any grandiose notion of your strength, just know that many have fallen before you, and their names are now nothing more but whispers in the wind. For the last god of destruction who thought themselves as unbeatable had become the prime example of what happens when arrogance begins to overtake reason. And he's barely shown standing right over there behind me," Reno continues, "defeated, humiliated, and left to serve as an example of what happens when your ego starts to talk for you. And so while you still have the chance, it's best for you to turn around and go back to your universe before things get messy around here. And so I won't go and warn you again either. Now do yourself a favor and accept this moment to turn around and go." But then, it was just within the quickness with Ligor being shown grabbing onto Reno's hand before Reno even had the opportunity to touch him was when Ligor then went on to respond, "Your approach, fellow Destroyer, though boastful, appears to overlook the intricacies and importance of our position. For I would advise a more measured and respectful demeanor, as our words, along with our actions, tend to echo beyond the confines of our immediate surrounding," with Reno being shown responding, "You what? How dare you go and lay your hands on me with such aggression? For you are but a new god of destruction, and so you better let go of me right now," with Ligor responding, "Your pride and lack of respect for others may seem inconsequential now, but they are seeds that could grow into becoming a much bigger problem later," to which, as Ligor went on to point towards Reno's chest, was when Ligor then went on to continue, "And if respect for others, including fellow gods of destruction, is not within your realm of consideration, Lord Reno, then the only way that you will learn is by learning the hard way, for the universe is an unforgiving teacher, and it will impose lessons upon those who ignore the value of mutual respect with swift and severe consequences." In which, before you know it, with Ligor being shown tapping onto Reno's chest and from that point sending Reno flying out into the distance, was when Grizzlor went on to chime in, "What the? Did the rest of you just see what this new Destroyer just did? Oh, but how did he just do that without him being shown putting up much of an effort to push Lord Reno back like this? Impressive, isn't it, Lord Grizzlor?" Ferrix went on to question, "for maybe there is much more to these new Destroyers than what we are able to see on the surface." "Wow," Goku responds, "this god of destruction was barely shown even having to lift a single finger, and was just already shown having to push Lord Reno back with such tremendous force so casually. That was unbelievable, and it happened so fast," with Whis chiming in, "Indeed, for it almost reminds me of when Lord Beerus was in his prime. And as it's also very clear to me that these new Destroyers are very different from the ones we know." "And what's this? Mortal warriors on a Destroyer's homeworld?" Ligor questions. "How very unusual, yet extremely interesting," as it was only right then and there now during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of the resurrected fallen gods of destruction, the Universe 14 Saga Manga Chapter number 7 special then comes to a close.
Actually, I'll go and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something with all of our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing. As not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link it all down in the description box below and pinned comment section. And so now, in the grand design of the cosmos, balance is a principle of paramount importance, especially when it comes to the gods of destruction. And as seen, the Omni Kings have chosen the likes of Tigron and Ligor for their ability to maintain this delicate balance in their respective universes, as beneath their calm exteriors, I sense tremendous power and a vast reservoir of strength that they have yet to fully unveil veil to the other gods of destruction. It is a power that piques my curiosity, making me wonder about the true extent of their capabilities compared to our already established deities, but I'm sure that we will learn more about their nature very soon. So we hope you are all ready for what Unreal has in store for you all very soon. So we hope you all enjoyed, as we will see you all on Patreon and in the next video. Have a wonderful day, everyone!
Hello! Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to UnrealEntGaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi!
Silent Cell, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.